Good evening, everyone. The price of US government debt or US government bonds is rising as interest rates or bond yields fall. And that's an important relationship to understand. As interest rates or bond yields go down, that means the price of the debt is going up. Let's have a look at the key interest rate of the US 10-year government bond yield. And we can see this 4.15% level was very key. This is a chart going back roughly 11 months. We can see last year it found support there, support there. And then in April, when Trump announced all these tariffs and caused a stock market crash and disruption of the global economy, we can see how bonds react. We see interest rates go down and we see the price of debt go up as the market rushes back to the quote safety of US government bonds or other government bonds in general. And we can see this level has remained pretty key. But the last couple of days, we've seen a breakdown from that level, which means the price of the debt is going up and the 5-year rate is very key. If we shift to a 5-year chart, you've got all these gurus online telling you that we're in a debt collapse. Well, if we measure the yield, which is opposite to the price, we can see that the yield on the 10-year or the interest rate is the same as it was in October of 2022. So that means 3 years of the price remaining relatively flat. The bond crash happened from 2020 to the end of 2022, and I would say we're topping out and rolling over. And if we look at some other rates like the 1-year US government rate, remember this is a chart going back 5 years, we can see the 2-year rate, the 3-year rate. You don't have to be a charting wizard to see that these rates are starting to roll over, which means the price of the debt is starting to rise. Now, another way to look at it that many of these gurus probably aren't telling you about, the Federal Reserve, like any central bank, engages in a lot of manipulation, let's say. And this particular rate is the interest rate on reserve balances. So what this means is that if you're a commercial bank like a Bank of America, you don't necessarily have to loan your money to someone to buy a house, to buy a car. You can take your money and deposit that excess cash at the Federal Reserve. And right now, the Federal Reserve will pay Bank of America and other commercial banks 4.4% interest on money that they deposit with the Federal Reserve. And of course, if you're giving your money to the central bank, it's effectively risk-free because the Federal Reserve can print money. So it's much safer than going out into the market or loaning it to someone to buy a house. And if you're a non-bank entity like a money market fund, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, you can do the same with the reverse repo facility and get 4.25% interest. Back in 2023, this facility had over $2.5 trillion in it. The money's been drawn down. Now, here's something to ask yourself is, this would be a lot of banks participating in this as well. Let's have a look at these interest rates on US government debt. If you can get 4.4% at the Federal Reserve, why would you loan the US government money for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years at 3.5, 3.6% interest, or for 10 years, 4.06% interest when you're taking the risk of bond prices moving or a debt collapse or something like that? And the answer is that the market, banks and the rest of the market, are clearly speculating on the price of debt continuing to go up, that it's going to keep moving up, and that's why they're willing to buy the debt at a lower interest rate. Lots of interesting things happening.